Since the dawn of drag racing, the search for horsepower has been elusive and everlasting. But in the era of sub-7-second door slammers, it's been replaced by a new quest, getting all that power to the ground. New clutch combinations, computer telemetry, transmission gearing, all different combinations, all part of the intense preparation that all leads here. Because where the rubber meets the road is where the Sunoco Race Fuel Shootout is won. And sometimes by the slimmest of margins. From Memphis Motorsports Park in Memphis, Tennessee, welcome to round 4 of the Parts Plus Super Chevy Show for 1992. Our coverage features these beautiful sub-7-second door slammers in the Sunoco Shootout, running over 200 miles per hour down the quarter mile. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Joy, and with me, Carl Moyer, who drives this gleaming black Corvette and has seen just a tremendous improvement over your runs of the 1991 season. What's made the difference?
Well, Mike, over the winter, we spent a lot of time working on the clutch area, and as well, we got a size bigger tire under the car, which has really picked us up.
These blown or nitrous-assisted cars, as the case may be, have always had plenty of horsepower. I guess the problem has always been getting it on the ground.
That's right. Having the horsepower is not really the problem. Everybody we race with has plenty of horsepower, but getting the horsepower hooked up to the track really is the secret.
Well, keep an eye out for Carl, and one of the world's fastest Corvettes here as our coverage unfolds. Now let's join my broadcast partner, Aaron Green.
Mike, Carl Moyer qualified 12th with a 6:90 elapsed time. Here in Scotty Cannon's pit area, the #1 qualifier and his crew are making preparations for the first round. Cannon ran a 6:81 elapsed time with his supercharged 40 Chevrolet, along with a top-end speed of 202 miles an hour. That earned him the $500 low qualifiers bonus in the Soft Seal Challenge. And Scotty, for you, this is a whole different combination from last year's nitrous injected engine.
Well, yeah, we've made a big jump and a big change, and I kind of like it a lot.
Well, some of your competitors don't seem to like it. You've been running very well. That 681 caught a lot of folks by surprise.
Yeah, well, last year we come to this same race, and I was #2 qualifier with the same car with a nitrous motor, so nothing's new on that part of the status part, I don't think.
What is the difference between running the supercharged engine and the nitrous injected car?
Well, I'm kind of new on the supercharged stuff. I got Bill Barrett. He's an old funny car racer, hired to tune the motor, and all I'm doing is just shoeing this thing, basically.
That's Scotty Cannon, Mike, certainly a guy who has to rank as one of the favorites today to win the shootout.
The Sunoco Race Fuel Shootout is being brought to you by Chevrolet, the heartbeat of America. The cars more people depend on. By Soft Seal, the #1 name in weather strip and rubber restoration products. By Parts Plus, America's family of auto parts store. And by BF Goodrich Tires, makers of the all-new Comptier ZR Ultra High Performance Radio. Down here on Beale Street in Memphis, there's a quest for that elusive horsepower, found one at a time. We'll be right back. They're firing off to begin elimination rounds. Here at Memphis, Tennessee, 28 cars came here to qualify for a spot in the 16-car ladder. That's how competitive this series has become. You're looking at Manny DeJesus, who won the season's first event at Bakersfield, California, but in the last event in West Palm Beach, Florida, didn't make the top 16. This week, that fate has fallen to Wally Stroop. Made the final round at Moroso, and he's already on the trailer here. So is Jeff Brozovich, Tom Jacobson. Among the series regulars, 12 cars in all, already loaded up. Soft Seal Fast Qualifier Challenge point standings. Chuck Peterson ahead of John Shelby, Jim Halsey, Donnie Little, Ed Hoover, Jason Peterson, Manny DeJesus, and Carl Moyer. Here's how the series point standings stack up. Moyer, with 1 win and 2 runner-up finishes, has a big lead over Pete Williams, Chuck Peterson, and Jason, and the rest of the top 10 in the point standings after 3 of the 19 events.
Manny DeJesus, the winner of the season opener, qualified 9th here at Memphis, Mike, with a 6.88. He'll face Jason Peterson, the number 8 qualifier, who ran a 6.86. There's Manny from West Babylon, New York, a suburb of New York City. Jason Peterson out of the heartland of America, Sioux City, Iowa.
A suburb of nowhere. But there's some good race cars come out of Iowa, and many of them are here, including 2 of the 3 cars of the Peterson team.
Jason Peterson was low qualifier just a week ago at West Palm Beach, Florida. Number 8 here at Memphis. Shows you how competitive a field we've got on our hands.
First round eliminations just getting underway. And both cars leave hard. Looks like Peterson with the edge. Here comes DeJesus to win it.
A great side-by-side battle as Manny DeJesus wins it with a 6.89, 202 miles an hour, a slower elapsed time than Jason Peterson, the loser, with a quicker 6.87. You can see in replay that Manny DeJesus indeed had the starting line advantage, the whole shot over Jason Peterson, and it paid big dividends down the road.
Well, Peterson got into the 680s as he predicted last event he would, but he left the lights a 1/10 of a second slower than DeJesus, and in drag racing, that's an eternity.
Our next pair here in first round action will feature Brian Gahm in the near lane from Lucasville, Ohio. Matching up with that car on the far side, Bill Neri's Prosecutor Nova coming out of Illinois. Gahm, the number 10 qualifier, ran a 6.89 earlier, while Neri ran his all-time best ET, a 6.85 with the Prosecutor Nova.
And those are the kind of numbers it's going to take to win on this Memphis course, a very fast track for this series.
Brian Gahm out of the Buckeye State, driving his Haas-built Lumina Z34. Bill Neri at the wheel of his 700 cubic inch plus Chevy 2, staging up on the far side. Gail Neri, Bill's wife, the crew chief on his machine.
Brian Gahm late to stage, and Neri red lights.
Neri overpowered the racetrack too, Mike, as he had all kinds of handling problems just off the line.
Brian Gahm will advance with a 694, 206-mile-an-hour run. And it looks like we're going to see some big numbers on the board in the top speed department here. Neri on the left side leaves before the light, gets a big bite full of racetrack, has to hang on to the car. Meanwhile, Gahm gets a nice clean pass, 206.6 miles per hour. That's the second fastest speed of the meet so far. Aaron?
Well, Neri gave you the win there, Brian. Had a red light.
Is that way down, red light?
694 for you, 206.
Yeah, your guitar's pretty good there, you know. We'll take it, though.
Next up, Fred Hahn, the Audis Automotive Corvette. Blower's taller than the whole car. And Fred will face the Canadian from Barrie, Ontario, Al Billis. There's a look at Al's Camaro. Big winged thing.
Billis with a nitrous injected motor in his Chevy Camaro, built at his own shop back in Barrie, Ontario, Canada, 45 years of age. He'll match up with Fred Hahn, a veteran campaigner at the wheel of Jim Audie's Corvette from New York. One of the popular supercharged door slammers in this class.
Hahn's got a fast ride, and Billis had a great 91 season, but he's off to a bit of a slow start this year.
Hahn qualified number 6 with a 6.85 elapsed time, while Billis got into the program with a 6.90 from his Chevy Camaro in the near lane.
Camaro versus Corvette. Round 1 elimination. And Hahn picks up the front end, leaving the line, but Billis is in trouble. Fred Hahn will advance with a 691, 200.98 miles per hour. Al Billis had to soft pedal to a 749.
Problems for Billis in the mid-range. Off the starting line, a big wheel stand for Fred Hahn with the Audie's Corvette. He's lucky that the car didn't get out of shape when the front end came back down to earth.
And right about here, Billis throws a shift. Then it just doesn't seem to be much more. Fred Hahn will advance. Aaron?
Good job of driving, Fred. You put a hole shot on him.
Thank you. Hope so. We're trying to. Track's a little tricky, you know. It's kind of anybody's race, you know.
Looked like both you and Billis were battling for control, but your 691 won it.
Well, that's good. I didn't know how fast. I only had a short shift a little bit. It started getting a little shaky out there and shaking the tires, but I knew he was behind me. I couldn't really see the front of his car, and the object of that game is to just get there first, you know.
We'll see you in round 2.
Thank you.
Fred Hahn turns in another 200-mile-an-hour plus winning pass. Manny DeJesus will install a fresh engine for round 2. We'll be right back. In Fred Hahn's pit area, that winning pass looked like it may have turned up a little trouble inside the engine compartment.
A burned piston for Jim Otte's Corvette as the crew works in preparation for round 2. Interestingly enough, Mike, Al Billis, who was defeated by Hahn in round 1, says he's going to rework his car to put a supercharger on board. Maybe seeing more of that type of approach in the future.
Round 1 continues. Carl Moyer, last event winner at Memphis Motorsports Park in West Palm Beach, lines up. Moyer has been in the final round in every shootout this season.
Moyer and his crew have done a great job so far in 1992. They've got a huge shootout points lead. One of the men responsible for that, Big Dave Carnock, the man out front of Moyer's ZR1 Corvette on the starting line. He's the crew chief. There's Carl Moyer out of Ankeny, Iowa.
And he'll have tough opposition. Chuck Peterson of Sioux City, Iowa, has one of the quickest and fastest cars on this tour. If Chuck can get the horsepower to the ground and keep it steered straight, he can come out of here with a victory.
A pair of drivers who are 50 years young on the starting line, Mike, as they battle here in the first round of the shootout. Should be a great race, as both Peterson and Carl Moyer are capable of running outstanding numbers.
Moyer would have to rank as the favorite based on his 3 straight final round appearances, but it's Peterson out first. Here's Moyer scrambling to gain ground. He doesn't have it. Chuck Peterson will advance.
Lots of piston smoke for Chuck Peterson, but his 690, aided by a hole shot, takes the win, 198 miles an hour. For Carl Moyer, a quicker, losing 689.
That 8/100ths of a second off the line is the difference.
Moyer and his crew changed engines after qualifying, just didn't quite have enough to drive by Peterson.
Now here you'll see Peterson's winning margin of victory. Moyer coming on, but not enough. But after the finish line, watch the right of your screen. Big clouds of smoke from Peterson Chevelle.
Here's John Shelby, always a fan favorite with that 57 Chevy. And Donnie Little, the Super Chevy speed record holder, reset the mark in qualifying over 208 miles an hour in the trim parts Camaro. Californian Shelby at the wheel of that 57 in the near lane, and Donnie Little on the far side. I asked Little what impact running fast had for him.
What that allows you to do is, when you're pretty deep into the shoulder first round, that gives you a chance to kind of play around or do some testing that you normally can't do when you're trying to get in the shoulder third attempt. So we changed some things around on it yesterday and tried to increase the speed a little bit, and we did.
Well, that 208 mile an hour run's the fastest run in the history of the shootout.
We're real happy about that, and believe it or not, we were in a little headwind yesterday. The track's still not there altogether, but today we got some real good wind, or real good air today, so we'll see what we can do today.
There is Shelby's steel-bodied 57. Lined up against that sleek Camaro.
Shelby qualified 13th with a 692 elapsed time, his all-time best in the blown Bel Air. Both drivers taking their time, staging carefully, knowing that reflexes are all important on the starting line. Shelby's car gets out of shape very near the guard wall. Donnie Little looks like he's on his way to a big win.
Donnie Little advances to round 2 with a 682, 207 mile an hour pass to back up the 208 he had in qualifying. There's Shelby getting sideways, heading for the rail. Don't want to crinkle that metal. Did his best to try to hang on to it and stay in the throttle. Just wasn't room to do both. Donnie Little moves up a notch.
Here's Ed Hoover, the newest member of CT Racing, the Chuck Peterson team out of Iowa, now backing the South Carolina driver, a 4-time winner on the 1991 Tour. Hoover will be on the far side as he'll battle against Willie McKinnon, coming out of the Long Island, New York area with his radically prepared 1970 Chevelle, believe it or not.
That is a space crate. My gosh. File a flight plan for Mars. McKinnon was at Moroso at West Palm Beach, but failed to qualify for the 16-car elimination ladder. Here's Hoover, has been one of the most consistent strong performers over the last season. And Willie McKinnon. What a great-looking ride that is.
McKinnon's crew securing the escape hatch on the roof of the car, much like a funny car would have.
Much like an astronaut capsule would have.
McKinnon rolling in last, and now he's deep stage. That could hurt his lap time. Hoover's got a big lead just off the line.
Hoover with the lead. McKinnon bringing it right back to him. It looks like Hoover.
A close race. Hoover's crew can't believe it. McKinnon's the winner.
The win light goes up for McKinnon. Well, let's have another look at this.
You can see McKinnon is deep stage. The pre-stage bulb is out in the near lane.
Hoover's car still shaking the tires, but with a car length lead. McKinnon will bring the race right back to him in the final 100 feet. The nose of Hoover's car crosses the line first, but it's up in the air. The wheel of Hoover's car breaks the light after the nose of McKinnon's car breaks the light, and McKinnon gets the win. What a surprise. Aaron?
That was a close race by 1,000th of a second. Your 699 defeats Hoover.
Yes. Oh, thank you. I want to thank all my sponsors. Lizard Racing, Palmieri, Combined Auto for the paint job, Vets Automotive, WJB, my crew, they did a great job. Oh, I can't believe it. I beat Ed Hoover.
Willie, is this your best weekend of drag racing?
Yeah, yup. Yes, thank you. You told me about a good weekend. This is the best. You couldn't ask for no more. I beat Ed Hoover.
Not only that, you'll be back in the second round.
Wow. What an upset. This is an upset. I want you to know. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
And he's just not kidding. I guess when you only have 7 seconds to think of all your sponsors to thank, that's a tough order. Engine change going on in the Chuck Peterson pit. We'll be right back. Willie McKinnon. Welcome back to Memphis Motorsports Park, where Pete Williams, the number 2 qualifier, is about to run against Bill Kuhlmann in round 1 eliminations.
Pete Williams is also number 2 in the point standings for the season-long shootout title, Mike. That Lumina on the far side runs as good as it looks. Here we see Beth Kuhlmann backing up her husband Bill in his burnout tracks at the wheel of that Summit Camaro.
Racing definitely a family affair for the Kuhlmanns. Longtime stalwarts of the Sunoco Race Fuel Shootout Tour. And Pete Williams, relative newcomer, came on the scene last year with this brand new car and has done very well.
Pete Williams, very consistent performer and certainly a threat to defeat Bill Kuhlmann. Here, Williams ran 681 in qualifying for the number 2 spot. Kuhlmann, an uncustomary 15th, was 694.
Williams gets a good launch. Has a 2-car length lead, opens it up as Kuhlmann appears to shut down.
Problems for Bill Kuhlmann as the first driver to ever run 200 in a door slammer goes down in round 1. Williams, great 683, 196 miles an hour, is the winner.
Kuhlmann in the near lane. Gets a face full of air under the nose of his Camaro. But that's just the beginning of his problems. Once that nose comes down to earth, tires shake to back in, gets out of line, puff of smoke, and he shuts it down. Pete Williams, first round winner. Aaron?
That was a great run, Pete. A 683. Kuhlmann had problems.
Oh, man. Glad I made it through that one. 683. Wow, I shook a little bit in third gear, so we'll dial our clutch in. Maybe we'll go faster next round.
Only 196 miles an hour. Did you shut it off early?
Early. I clicked it early. Clicked a little bit early. Thanks, there.
I hope that isn't his helmet.
Here's a radical-looking car, Mike. How about the 1940 Chevrolet of Scotty Cannon? He'll match up with Don Brock in his rookie year of drag racing. Brock's first ever ride is the car you're looking at. Never drove a slower car on a drag strip.
That is, look at the interior panel detail. That is certainly one of the most beautiful cars on this tour.
Don Brock, coming out of Texas, very successful in the oil business over the years. Went to Frank Hawley's drag racing school and decided to jump right into pro modified racing on the shootout tour. He's done a great job so far, qualified for every event he's attended. Scotty Cannon, always a threat to win. Not the most popular driver with his competitors, but he's a real racer, tough to beat.
Scotty Cannon in a 1940 Chevrolet. A little extra streamlining from what the factory intended. Two blown cars. Getting ready to roll. That's Cannon in the far lane. Cannon with a good launch, and he's going to extend that advantage all the way down. 679, 203.5 for Scotty Cannon.
Cannon, the number 1 qualifier, picks up 200ths over his qualifying pass of 681. Looks good here heading to round 2.
Brock got a slightly better light, a 549. But Cannon was never headed.
Scotty Cannon has enjoyed an excellent season so far in 92 since switching over from the Nitrous motor. You can see his supercharged 40 Chevy runs just fine.
So we move to round 2, and here's how they'll pair up. Cannon with lane choice over Manny DeJesus. Donnie Little with choice over Chuck Peterson. Pete Williams over Brian Gahm. And Fred Hahn against Wild Willie McKinnon. Mercedes at 206-mile-an-hour speeds. And that's only the first round. Stay with us for the quarterfinals next. Okay, good. Welcome back to Memphis Motorsports Park. Mike Joy with Aaron Green. Arch Plus Super Chevy weekend. Fred Hahn in the Audis Corvette will face the surprise of the weekend, Willie McKinnon.
Did he look just a little bit happy when he won that first round run, Mike?
Happy? I've seen guys win the Daytona 500 and not be that ecstatic. But he's got some tough opposition here again in the form of Fred Hahn and the Audis Corvette.
Fred Hahn with that supercharged Corvette out of New York, always tough to beat. Been to the shootout finals before, never a winner. Willie McKinnon just won his first ever round of competition. He's just happy to be here in round 2 with his New York-based Chevelle.
McKinnon won that round at 699. Hahn clocked in his first round elimination at 691.
McKinnon in the near lane calls his car, it must be magic. I bet Ed Hoover thinks there's magic in that nose.
There's something to it. A lot of air underneath the nose of Hahn's Corvette.
Another close race here, but the nose won't save McKinnon this time. Jim Oddie rams his fist into the air as his supercharged Corvette's the winner. Fred Hahn pilots it to a 688, 199-mile-an-hour run for the win.
And not an easy win. 6/100ths of a second, the decider. You see Hahn leaves quickly, but gets the nose in the air, and McKinnon is right with him at the 300-foot mark.
Fred Hahn and Jim Oddie might want to think about putting some weight on the nose of that Corvette.
Fortunately for Hahn, he had the power to pull out the win. Aaron?
Well, all the hard work by the Audis team paid off with a second round win.
Yeah, we hurt one first round, and they had to fix it. Everybody's so close that it's just anybody's race, The guys really, they worked their hearts out with help from a few of the outsiders,
Your 688 defeats McKinnon's 694.
That was good. Good run. The car ran down the track good that time.
Do you think the engine's okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's okay. We'll even try and tweak her a little more. Thank you.
Well, congratulations to Fred, but I would have loved to see you interview Willie one more time. We'll see him again this season.
Here's Brian Gahm backing up from his burnout with the Games Car and Truck Lumina coming out of Lucasville, Ohio. Mike Hedgecock behind the car, his engine builder from Eagle Racing Engines. Eugene Gahm, Brian's dad, his crew chief, also involved in this program for the 32-year-old driver here on the near side.
He will face Pete Williams. If there was an award for best paint on this circuit, it would certainly go to this beautiful Lumina.
Don Ness Racecraft can sure be proud of their efforts here as they built that gorgeous Lumina on the far side of the track.
Well, paint doesn't carry you to the payoff line. So far
Williams
as it's
has
been there. Yeah.
Terry Pete Williams in second place in the points, not too shabby.
You bet. 2 Chevy Luminas. The new look of drag racing in the 90s. Brian Gahm the near lane, Pete Williams on the far side.
Looks like Brian Gahm had the whole shot advantage off the starting line, but he's got lots of smoke coming out of that engine.
It held up, though. Brian Gahm will move on to the semifinals.
Another 206-mile-an-hour run for Brian Gahm, along with a great 691 a lap time, turns the trick.
Williams a bit late leaving the line, as you see here, but he turned in a fine run. 692 to Gahm's 691 and almost pulled it out. But look at that cloud of smoke coming from Brian Gahm's car in the near lane. Let's find out why. Aaron?
That was a heck of a race, Brian. Your 691 beats Williams' 692.
Well, I don't know, but I tell you what, the guys has worked real hard, and it ain't running up to snuff yet, but we're working on it.
Hey, a win's a win.
I take it.
Another happy winner.
I knew I
Quarterfinal round action continues right after these messages. We're in the quarterfinal round at Memphis Motorsports Park. Chuck Peterson, the patriarch of this racing clan from Sioux City, set to do battle against Donnie Little's Trim Parts Camaro.
The weather's been very nice for this event, Mike, with temperatures in the low 60s. It's very windy, though. We've had a combination of crosswinds and headwinds. The headwinds making Donnie Little's 208-mile-an-hour speed all the more unbelievable.
Oh, we'll see what he can put down on this pass. Very even matchup here. Peterson won his first round race with a 690. Little took his with a 682.
Peterson's coming up with a new power plant as well, as his crew had to change motors after defeating Carl Moyer.
Both cars taking their time staging.
A huge crowd looking on here at Memphis Motorsports Park as we go with this second round shootout race.
The lights go down, and it's pretty even coming off the line, but Peterson has trouble keeping that car straight, and Donnie Little is going to win it.
Jim Paul, you're happy to see the win by his boss, Donnie Little. Another great top-end charge over 206 miles an hour for Little, along with a 683, as his wife, Debbie, shows her appreciation of that great win. Chuck Peterson gave it a good shot, but came in second place.
Peterson leaves right with Donnie Little. But again, he is plagued by problems keeping that car in a straight line at mid-track. And Little advances to the semifinals.
Peterson still ran a 688.
Scotty Cannon coming off that first round win with a 679. He'll go up against Manny DeJesus, who needs to find a tenth of a second to beat Cannon.
Manny DeJesus, the big winner in the season opener at Bakersfield, California, up against the #1 qualifier here at Memphis, a guy who's never won a shootout, Scotty Cannon with the OnSat 40 Chevy.
And you see that big blower sticking up through the snout of Scotty Cannon's car. Switching over from nitrous to the supercharger. You're allowed either or in the Sunoco Race Fuel shootout. Cannon with a bit of an edge off the line, and he's going to hold that all the way down.
High gear, Scotty Cannon just blast to the victory. 678, low ET of the meet, 203 miles an hour.
Cannon did not cut a great light. He came out some 8/100ths behind DeJesus. But boy, did he have the power coming down the line.
Manny coming back after that engine change, slowed to a 7:26 a lap time.
So we'll go to the semifinal round. Cannon will have lane choice over Donnie Little, while Fred Hahn will have choice on Brian Gahm. Over the BF Goodrich car show area, they're all makes and manners of Chevy-powered machines. From the 30s right up to today. Hey, my first car looked just like that. didn't have the Continental kit. Horizon Blue 60 Impala ragtop, blue interior. Boy, that brings back memories. The VF Goodrich Car Show is also a truck show. So when the tour comes to a drag strip near you, bring your Chevy-powered vehicle out, shine it up, show it off, and have some fun. Now here's Aaron with this week's Tech Tip, brought to you by NOS, the leader in nitrous technology.
Many of the racers we've been watching in the shootout today rely on nitrous oxide injection to provide an additional horsepower boost in their winning machines. Scott Shafaroff is the premier engine builder on the circuit. His engines hold both the elapsed time and speed record on the Super Chevy Tour. And Scott, what kind of nitrous system do you recommend?
Well, Aaron, I rely exclusively on NOS products on all my record-setting engines.
Can you give us a tip that all the racers can use?
Sure. When you're dealing with nitrous oxide, quality of components is of utmost importance. That's one of the reasons that I stay with NOS products. And as far as a tip that everybody can benefit from, NOS has developed and patented a fogger nozzle that allows us to not only mix the gasoline and nitrous together, but use the pressure from the nitrous to fog the fuel to make for a cleaner and safer burn. And that's a big advantage in today's racing.
NOS manufactures a complete line of nitrous oxide systems. They're the leader in the industry.
Thanks, Aaron. Brian Gahm is ready for his semifinal round race. We will be too right after this. And back on track, Fred Hahn is set to go in Jim Oddy's Corvette. And Aaron, looks like the blower cars are coming out on top this week.
Rather interesting here, Mike, is in the semifinals, we've got two races. There's a supercharged car and a nitrous car in each one of them.
Brian Gahm will uphold the honor of the nitrous-assisted big blocks.
Brian Gahm seems to run over 200 miles an hour with ease, a fact that I'm sure Fred Hahn is well aware of as he is strapped in at the wheel of Oddy's Corvette.
Semi-final round action. One of these drivers will head to the final round. Still a lot of smoke from Brian Gahm as Fred Hahn is out first and last. Fred Hahn goes to the finals.
687, 194 miles an hour for Fred Hahn, the winner on the far side, and Jim Oddy's Corvette. That smoking engine may have spelled the end for Brian Gahm.
I don't know. Brian ran 201 miles an hour. But the ET wasn't enough to get him in the final round. 7:04 for Brian Gahm. Pretty even race coming out. But right about here is where Hahn hooks up and goes. So Hahn will face either Scott Cannon or Donnie Little in the final round. Aaron's always wandering Manufacturers Midway looking for something interesting. So what's new?
Hey, Mike. It seems like everybody's into collector series trading cards these days. Look, here's a Carl Moyer. I know you've been wanting one of these for your collection. It doesn't seem to matter whether it's basketball, football, or drag racing. All the fans seem to want collector series cards. Super Chevy Magazine recognized the need for a set of Super Chevy trading cards. Only 5,000 sets will be made, available through the magazine. Each set is numbered to assure their limited production status. Who knows? Maybe one day Carl Moyer's card will be worth as much as a Michael Jordan.
Once a kid, always a kid, huh? Scott Cannon getting ready to face off in the semifinals. Well, this semifinal round race between Scott Cannon and Donnie Little has been much anticipated by the throng here at Memphis Motorsports Park, but it's not to be.
No problems back in the staging lanes for Donnie Little, Mike. A manifold explosion, which if you've never witnessed one, believe me, you don't want to. A serious concussion behind the timing tower. Donnie Little is broken, cannot make it to the starting line. Scotty Cannon, the low qualifier, gets a free pass to the final.
And what a tough break for Donnie Little, who set a new top speed record for Super Chevy shows. 208.09 miles per hour in qualifying, and they'll have to push that thing onto the trailer.
Well, for Scotty Cannon and his crew, this is a lucky break for them as they can now use this run as a testing and tuning run headed for the final round. It gives his crew the opportunity to listen to his engine only as the car charges down the racetrack. It may help them as they prepare for the final. Boyce Boswell, his crew chief, along with Bill Barrett, have got this car running strong.
Cannon ran 679 in the first round and a 678 in quarterfinal round action. Backs that up nicely, 682. 204.5 miles per hour will put him in good stead to face Fred Hahn in the final round. It'll be the 40 Chevrolet of Scotty Cannon against the Corvette of Fred Hahn. Sportsman bracket racing results saw Penny Cobra of Garland, Texas, a winner in Super Pro. Les Keene of Jackson, Tennessee. In the Pro class, Rick Masterson of Foley, Missouri, won in Sportsman. And the DOT Street Tire class went to Lee Cheney's IROC Camaro. Here's Aaron with Scott Cannon.
Well, 682 is a bit slower than your earlier runs, but it gives you lane choice in the final, Scotty.
Well, it shook. We stepped it up, and I don't think the track wanted it, so maybe that was my good fortune there. He broke.
For the first time in the history of the shootout, 2 blown cars in the final.
Well, I think it's about time. I mean, I think we've both been running good today and been getting down the track, and some of the other guys haven't, so what can I say?
See you in the final round.
The shootout is just one facet of the parts plus. Fred Hahn knows this final round will be no picnic, and it's coming up next.
Chevy show event. Be back down here.
We're getting set for the final run of the day. Fred Hahn made it into the final round, defeating Brian Gahm, and this man, Scotty Cannon, got into the finals when Donnie Little's Camaro broke in the staging lanes. There's a look at Fred Hahn doing a beastly burnout. While we were away, Aaron had a look at the gaping maw in the middle of Donnie Little's manifold. Check this.
Scotty Cannon got a bye run in the Final Four because Donnie Little had a manifold explosion, something that any nitrous racer dreads. And Donnie, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just fine. I had my helmet on the car. I mean, it was loud, but it wasn't that bad because the helmets are so padded so good. Basically, what happened is we had a solenoid on our plate, on our second system on plates. It stuck open. It had filled nitrous in the motor, but we had cranked the motor over back in the pits, but evidently there was some still left in there, and as soon as I fired the motor, it just went. I mean, it's just, you're right. It's something you always dread, and all the years I've raced, I've never had anything like that ever happen.
And hopefully never again. It denies Little a chance at the final round, where Fred Hahn in the Yachty's Automotive Corvette rolls up against the 40 Chevrolet of Scott Cannon.
For the first time in shootout history, 2 supercharged door slammers in the final, Mike. Ought to be a great race.
Both cars capable of the low 80s.
Jim Oddie lining up his driver, Fred Hahn, on the starting line. Hahn, Oddie, and Billy Leverance have really worked hard to make the Corvette run well today. Boyce Boswell, Cannon's crew chief, activating the onboard computer.
And you notice the onboard radio headset there on the crew chief, in contact with his driver as he staged. Final round, here we go. Both cars pretty even off the line.
A great side-by-side race. Cannon pulls away at high gear for the win.
High gear has been Scott Cannon's strong suit all weekend. A 681, 204.9 mile an hour pass wins it all.
Scotty Cannon, the low qualifier, takes it all the way to the winner's circle. That's the way it ought to be.
Fred Hahn got a little bit of lift on the nose, but he was right with Cannon leaving the line. Top end, though, is where that 40 really flies. And watch Cannon open up a lot of daylight on the Corvette as they head for the traps. Scotty Cannon, the winner. Aaron?
A great final round race, Scotty, and you're the winner with a 681.
Oh, man, that's great. We've been on the borderline all day, and it's just paid off, man.
Your first ever Sunoco Race Fuels shootout win.
It's one of the best. I couldn't. I'm just so happy, man. I don't know what to say. Whew, let me take a breath, man. About brain fade here.
Your crew sure worked hard this weekend.
And I've worked these guys to death. I'd like to thank Boyce, my wife, my father, my sponsor, Doug Brown at OnSat. Man, these guys stuck with me. If it wasn't for the money behind these guys and the hard work from my crew and my whole family, I just couldn't be here.
A great win after refurbishing this car to run the supercharged motor.
It makes it all worth it, Aaron. Thanks a lot.
Good job, buddy.
Scott Cannon, the winner. Fred Hahn
He was right there.
offering congratulations. Carl Moyer holds a big lead in the points, still over Pete Williams. Chuck Peterson, Manny DeJesus, and Jason Peterson, the top 5. Then Ed Hoover, Donnie Little, Shalby, Brozovic, and Brock complete the top 10.
Well, Fred, a 695 at 202. You gave it all you had, but couldn't catch up.
We shook the tires a little bit going into second gear, and he made a pretty good move on us about a car. And that's kind of where it stayed the rest of the way on down, you know. But he deserved it. I mean, he worked for it, and it's a real hard deal to get to the final of a Super Chevy show, you know. And to get to the final, you made your weekend, you know.
I think most experts would have to say that you and Jim Otte are overdue for a win in this series.
Well, everybody's always overdue. If you won last week, you're overdue, you know. But it's a tough series. There's no question. I mean, you have the best in the business out here, you know, Scotty being one of them. And, I mean, everybody, the first, 6, 7 cars that qualified were within a couple of thousandths of a second down in the 680s. That's anybody's race, you know. Thank you.
And that's what makes it a great series. Fred Hahn